Today on Rappler. Senator Risa Hontiveros files a substitute bill for the proposed legislation on anti-teen pregnancy after 7 senators withdraw support. Heads of tech giants and billionaires flock to Trump's inaugural. An Episcopal bishop makes a plea for immigrants and LGBTQ+ youth during a prayer service with US President Donald Trump. Trump ramps up oil and gas production, rolls back environmental protections, and pulls out the United States from the Paris Climate Agreement. And the filming of the Manuel L. Quezon biopic starts in March. Senate Deputy Minority Leader Risa Hontiveros files a substitute bill amending the contentious provisions of Senate Bill 1979, or the Prevention of Adolescent Pregnancy Act, on Wednesday, January 22. This after at least 7 senators withdrew their support for the bill, which includes a provision for mandatory comprehensive sexuality education, or CSE, in schools. The substitute bill revamps the section on age and development appropriate CSE, notably removing that CSE will be guided by international standards. This amid backlash from religious groups. Senators Nancy Binay, J.V. Ejercito, Cynthia Villar, Bongo, Senate President Pro Tempore Jinggoy Estrada, and Loren Legarda request to have their signatures removed from the bill, which had been previously signed by 19 senators. The bill sparks controversy nearly 2 years after it was filed, following a video released by the National Coalition for the Family and the Constitution. The coalition claims the bill's provision for comprehensive sexuality education will align with European standards. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. voiced concerns, saying he would veto the bill if passed. Senator Risa Hontiveros, the bill's principal author, rejects the misinformation, emphasizing the word masturbation does not appear in the bill.
CSE contains the very same things you support. Teaching kids anatomy, the consequences of early pregnancy. Yan po ang atin ding isinusulong. I am willing to accept amendments to refine the bill so we can steer it to passage.
The world's wealthiest individuals attend US President Donald Trump's inauguration on Monday, January 20, in Washington. Among those were the world's 3 wealthiest individuals, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg, whose combined net worth is nearly $900 billion. Other Forbes-listed billionaires also attended, including LVMH CEO Bernard Arnault, Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai, and India's richest man Mukesh Ambani, all participating in the inauguration. Meantime, on Tuesday, January 21, Trump pardoned Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht. Ulbricht was sentenced to life in prison for operating an underground online marketplace where drug dealers and others facilitated over $200 million in illegal transactions using Bitcoin. Trump, fulfilling a campaign promise, calls the pardon, quote, full and unconditional, and criticizes those involved in Ulbricht's conviction. In February 2015, a federal jury in Manhattan convicted Ulbricht on charges that included online drug distribution, conspiracy to commit computer hacking, and money laundering. Ulbricht's arrest marked the end of what prosecutors called a global black market platform used by over 100,000 people in 2 years from 2011 to conduct $214 million in illicit trade, including illegal drugs and services. Prosecutors say some people died because of drugs bought on Silk Road. The website allowed users to communicate anonymously and accepted Bitcoin payments, which prosecutors argued helped conceal users' identities and locations. On his first full day in office, President Donald Trump attends a prayer service at the Washington National Cathedral, where Episcopal Bishop Marianne Edgar Budde delivered a sermon urging him to protect immigrants and respect gay rights. This a day after Trump says in his inauguration speech that there were only 2 genders in America and signed executive orders to tighten immigration. Budde appeals to Trump's mercy for those who were scared of what is to come.
I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger.
Trump appeared displeased during the sermon and later dismissed it as, quote, not too exciting. US President Donald Trump on Monday, January 20, unveils a plan to increase oil and gas production. This includes declaring a national energy emergency to expedite permitting and rolling back environmental protections. The move represents a significant shift in energy policy, reversing former President Joe Biden's efforts to transition away from fossil fuels. Trump then signs an executive order pulling the United States out of the 2015 Paris Climate Accord. This excludes the world's largest emitter from global climate change efforts for the second time in a decade. He also signs an order to encourage oil and gas development in Alaska, overturning Biden's efforts to protect Arctic lands and U.S. coastal waters from drilling. Meantime, environmental groups say they will challenge the executive orders in court. TBA Studios announces the biopic about former President Manuel L. Quezon, titled Quezon, will begin filming in March. TBA Studios President Daphne Chu says although it is a standalone film, it maintains a cinematic continuity in the previous Bayani verse films General Luna in 2015 and Goyo ang Batang General in 2018. Like the previous films, Gerald Tarog will direct. The film is expected to focus on Quezon's presidential campaign against Emilio Aguinaldo. TJ Trinidad played the adult Quezon in Goyo ang Batang General, but it is unclear if he will reprise the role. TBA Studios says the casting for both lead and supporting roles is currently underway. The National Commission for Culture and the Arts and the Film Development Council of the Philippines support the film, which will also be released internationally. And that's today's wrap. I'm Kara Oliver. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok.